that really didn't need to be that stressful. Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. I hope you're doing well. Wait, is that it? I'm losing my mind. Anyway, welcome back. Chelsea won, Tottenham 0, Chelsea won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Jose Mourinho loses 2 successive home games for the first time in his managerial career. Digest that one. Chelsea looked excellent for a while, then it got stressful. Didn't need to be. An away win though, a clean sheet, all 3 points against the Spurs, a London derby, the ex-gaffer Jose Mourinho. Subscribe to this channel if you want daily Chelsea content. The end. Only joking, we've got loads to talk about. Drop a like on this video as we get into today's match review. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel's first London derby, his first ever matchup against Jose Mourinho, and it went pretty well. I mean, for large portions of the game, certainly in the first half, Chelsea was super dominant. Had a bunch of attempts, but only 2 on target. I think maybe we have the same amount of shots on target as Tottenham. I never felt safe in that game, man, especially against Tottenham. One break with Son, you're done for. And then if Chelsea's weak psychological frailties come back in of this young team, not Thomas Tuchel's fault, you could be in big trouble. Hold on, wait. I need to do this to annoy you guys. So anyway, Timo Werner wins a penalty. Well, I say that Eric Dyer is being an idiot. What an awful game Eric Dyer had, by the way. Wins a penalty. Who's going to take it? We've had 2 penalty takers this season. Jorginho, who missed a bunch, and Timo Werner, who came in and scored all of them. But then again, Timo Werner doesn't score goals anymore. So I was like, wow, who's going to score this goal? I mean, who's going to take this penalty? And it was Jorginho, and he scored the goal. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, it did look like from there, I thought, right, here we go. We scored a goal. Tottenham are going to have to come out a little bit more. We're playing well in terms of combinational passes in the final third. Systemically, in terms of shape, we're set up perfectly. Tottenham didn't get a sniff in that first half. And then BT Sport at halftime were like, yeah, Chelsea have been good. Tottenham have been awful. And I was just thinking, oh, stop saying this. One break and we're done for. And to be honest, out in the second half, Jose made them press a lot more. There was no press in the first half. It almost to the point of it seemed like a tactical instruction from Jose Mourinho. Literally no press. And they did that in the second half. They pressed from the front and they looked a lot better. And Chelsea had more chances, went up and down a little bit. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't the greatest game, largely because Jose stank it up, which we all expected him to do, but also Chelsea did that standard thing of playing really well in small periods, then often looking frail. I think in this game, I know it was the narrative for Marcus Alonso to score against Tottenham, but I probably could have done with seeing Chilwell to, more of an engine getting up and down quicker. And ultimately, Tottenham put loads of pressure on Chelsea at the end of the game, unnecessarily, I thought, and it made it massively stressful and sweaty. Anyway, let's look at the Who Scored graphic and see how both teams were set up. Jose Mourinho went for his 4-2-3-1. That was basically 10 men defending in the box. Thomas Tuchel continued with his preferred 3-4-2-1. But there was a couple of changes to this starting lineup. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi was in the front 3 and Reece James comes into right wing back, which makes a lot of sense for me because Hudson-Odoi's got more license to switch around more narrowly with Mason Mount, and because Reece James is an actual fullback, naturally he's going to be better defensively, defending against a good team in transition. Preferred back 3 of Silva, Rudiger, Azpilicueta. Alonso kept his place. I've already mentioned in hindsight I probably would have preferred to see Chilwell. Mason Mount, who won man of the match, and Timo Werner up front, who didn't score a goal. You don't expect him to anymore because he's forgotten how, but actually didn't have the worst game. Now, like I said, the opening first half was really dominant from Chelsea. Superb combinations. We looked in complete control in terms of occupying the right spaces. I don't want to say it was a Tuchel masterclass, but in terms of the... it's annoying me now. But in terms of how we were set up, in terms of our shape against Tottenham, it worked perfectly until it didn't, until perhaps the passes weren't as quick, their confidence maybe dropped throughout the Chelsea team. We had some sub appearances from Christian Pulisic, who I was actually quite excited to see come on. I think he will be a good player under Thomas Tuchel. He's been coached by him before, of course, and last season Pulisic was incredible for us. He came on for Hudson-Odoi. We had a forced injury in the first half, I forgot to mention, Thiago Silva with a reported thigh injury. Hopefully not that bad, because before he came off, he was incredible. I'm going to get to player performances in just a second. And N'Golo Kante came on for Kovacic shortly after Kovacic made a good marauding run throughout the midfield and could have played in either Werner or Reece James and sort of did a really poor toe poke. Tuchel seemed very, very angry with Mateo Kovacic there. Understandably, because when you've only got one goal against this Tottenham team, you're not safe at all. And Kante, when he came on, it wasn't too convincing. He just looks rusty, but that's totally fine. So let's move on and talk about player performances a little bit now. Edouard Mendy, I'm actually more impressed with him in this game. I know he had hardly anything to do, but he made one really good save down to his right-hand side, a couple of, really confident ball claims. And when you watch a performance like this from a goalkeeper, it sort of implies their confidence might be growing. Because although he hasn't had any howlers or anything recently, there's just an air of something about him that he wasn't as good or isn't as good as when he came in. And when you see small moments like this, it's really positive, and I think he had a good game despite having little to do. Reece James, I was pleased to see him back in the right wing back position. Not that Callum Hudson-Odoi has been bad, he was been good there, especially when we really press up the pitch. He's just an extra attacker, but I love Reece James, man, and he offers so much, so I was pleased to see him back. All the back three were very good. Thiago Silva was immense prior to getting injured. A couple of excellent interceptions, acrobatic ones, superb positioning, again passing long balls with both his feet. Shout out to Christensen when he came on, wasn't awful. Didn't lay on the ground to let the opposition score like he's known to do. So yeah, fair enough. And Azpilicueta and Rudiger were both fine, so decent. Alonso, he does combine. When you're in the final third and you have possession, he does look good, and he's okay with playing ball into space. But because we're so vulnerable in transition, I understand why Reece James came in for Hudson-Odoi, because he can run back, he can track back. You don't get that with Marcos Alonso. For me, I know the narrative. I predicted him to start, and this is a hindsight thing, but the narrative is, Alonso always plays well against Spurs. But if you look at how the game was, it did cry out for Ben Chilwell to play left wing back. In this instance, you needed an engine to run up and down. But whatever, we won, so it's fine. Jorginho was very, very good, excellent. I'm seeing good Jorginho again. If you've watched this content, you know I've never said I think he's a bad player, even when I say look, he can go sort of thing, but to be honest, I've always valued what he can bring to the team, and in this particular tactical setup he looks very good, and he was very good today. And you can't dislike Jorginho if you follow him on social media and stuff. He's such a feel-good guy in the dressing room. Don't know why I'm talking about that now, but I've been watching his Instagram recently. Him and Kovacic have an amazing chemistry. They have since Maurizio Sarri. They just have this good chemistry on the pitch. Both were good. Kovacic should have played that ball, and that was a pretty big mistake when he went through the middle, like I said previously, but the midfield was decent, and then Kante was a bit disappointing, but I'm not going to judge him because he's only just come back in. Mason Mount was pretty good. He won man of the match. He wasn't a glaring man of the match for me. It was very difficult to say. He also had a really poor ball in the first half when the ball came to him, and he sort of chipped it and skied it high rather than playing it back in. But for a high profile error like that, everything in between is pretty darn good. He made another excellent run, carried the ball through the middle, passes quickly, presses 90 minutes. I think Tuchel's going to always start Mason Mount because I think he's going to value what he brings to the team. So he had a good performance. Callum Hudson-Odoi, he won man of the match, rightfully the previous two games. Probably, ironically, his slightly worse game came in a more preferred position than wing-back. Who knows, maybe he is just a wing-back. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who knows? Timo Werner, I actually think Timo Werner played pretty well. We know what his problem is, his confidence in front of goal. But in terms of running the channels, combining, pressing from the front, he's doing it all, isn't he? So fair play to Timo Werner. When the goal comes, he'll just be a really good player again all round. Anyway, that's enough of this. Let's talk about the implications of the result a little bit more. So 3 points. We were level on points with Tottenham, and we've pulled away 3 points with an away win in their stadium. On the surface, superb. And to be honest, man, you could argue a draw would have been okay. but a win's great. And yes, we should have won it more comfortably, I think. If you look at how Tottenham set up and look at how Jose is managing them at the moment, I really would have preferred, like, even a 2-0 win would be really satisfying. But you can't complain. All 3 points and a clean sheet, we move. And we've got, you know, Tuchel will look at that, he'll learn. He knows more about his players now. He's only just getting his feet under the desk. Do you know what I mean? So it's great. I'm very pleased. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on the game and player performances down in the comments section below. If you've enjoyed the content and you want to see more of me, please do drop a like. That's very sweet of you. Consider subscribing. If you're new, that's about it. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living. I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.